Hey everyone, welcome back to the Midweek Dose. If you're new here, I'm Ali, I'm 52, I'm sharing my journey on Mounjaro. Now I've hit my goal weight last week, as you've seen in the previous video. I'll be documenting what comes next on my maintenance journey. So if you are new here, welcome along for the journey. This week I've got some news on Mounjaro plus my latest body measurements after losing all the weight since hitting target, and I'll also be talking about switching to Wegovy, which a lot of people are thinking about or considering, especially with the hike in prices that happened at the start of September. So let's jump into it with this week's news. Okay, so supply and demand. As we know, at the end of last month, there was a pause on supply of Mounjaro by the manufacturer Eli Lilly. The pharmacies were asked to stop taking new orders to manage the supply and avoid panic buying, because I know lots of people that bought lots of different pens at the same time. Although the supply chain was started back up a few days later, there still seems to be a lot of people on TikTok, Reddit, Facebook that are having issues with certain stock, with certain suppliers. So if this is still happening to you, then I definitely consider you moving to another supplier. I've just ordered my next pen from Medicine Marketplace, who I'm with, and I got accepted within 1 day, and it's on its way. It should come tomorrow. So I've not had any issues with Medicine Marketplace, but do check out with your own supplier to make sure that there is plenty stock of your strength. Also check out the Monj website. I'll put a wee photograph up here and you can check out the latest prices on there if you are thinking of changing. Okay, so because of the price hike and the cost pressures, more people are definitely exploring other avenues of GLP-1 medications, like Wegovy, which is semaglutide, as an alternative. Now, Wegovy tends to be a lot less expensive for many, depending on your prescription route. It's typically around £100 less for the lowest dose at this time of filming. I'll explore what switching looks like later in this video, but what you need to consider is how to do it safely. There's a new strength of Wegovy on the horizon soon. It's not out on the market yet, but it's 7.2 milligrams strength. At present, the maximum dose is 2.4 milligrams, which is equivalent of the 15 milligrams of Mounjaro. This strength is aimed at people who've hit a weight loss plateau or stall. Are you on Wegovy? And would you go up to this new strength when it comes out? Don't know what the price is going to be yet. That's still to be announced, but I'll definitely keep you updated when I do hear what the price is going to be and when it's coming out. Okay, that's quickly the news this week, so let's change gear and talk about my body measurements since hitting my goal weight, which was 11 stone and 2 pounds last week. Okay, I'll post some before and after pictures in this section along with my current BMI, my weight loss chart from start to goal. So I started this in March and we're now in September. So my waist was 36-inch jeans when I started this journey, and now if you did look at my last video, which was my next sale haul where I went and got loads of new clothes, I'm now at a 30-inch jean. Now this is an absolute mind blow for me because I have never had a 30-inch jean in my whole life. It just shows you how far I've come along this journey. I'll sometimes stop and look at myself in the mirror or in a shop window and I'll realise, is that really me looking back? It's a bit of a head F-U-C-K, if you know what I mean. It's just so weird because I've spent so long in my life being really overweight, and now my brain is really struggling to catch up with my body. So my body looks a lot better than what it did, but my brain still thinks I'm fat. Does that make any sense to anybody out there? I know it's a bit hard to understand, but apparently it can take years for your brain to catch up with what your body's like. And it's just because you've spent your whole life up and down the weight and you're basically ruled by your food. But no more, that's all gone, and this is the last time I'm losing the weight. Okay, so I've wrote this down, so I put my specs on so I can read it. So as I said, my waist was 36-inch jeans and now I'm 30. Woohoo. My hips were 40 inches when I started this journey and now they're 34 inches. My chest was 40 inches across and now it's 36 inches, which is great. Now, the biceps were 13 inches and now they're 11 inches, which isn't great because I've lost some muscle mass there. My thighs were 21.7 inches and they're now 19.2. So I have lost some fat on there, but my calves were 15.7 inches and they're now 14.1. So I've definitely lost some muscle mass along the way. It's really hard not to lose some kind of muscle mass when you're losing all this fat at the same time. And my neck was 15.3 inches and it's now 15 inches. So there you go. That's some of the measurements from the start to the end goal. Obviously, I'm carrying on this journey. It's not the end. I'm going to maintenance now and I'm going to be sharing all my tips and hints along the way and what that's going to look like. Okay, so that's the measurements done. Now, a lot of people, as I said, are going to be moving from Mounjaro to Wegovy, so I wanted to go through some points on it. Why are people moving? Well, basically down to cost is the most part. Side effect is another. You might have been getting really bad side effects on Mounjaro, and they might not be as bad in Wegovy. It can be milder side effects. Now, I've obviously not used Wegovy, but I've had friends that are on it. So I'm just going to see how they get on. Obviously, there's more availability for this Wegovy. There's not as much stock issues. How does the switch process work? Right, so first of all, when you come off Mounjaro, you basically need to do a clean out. So it's roughly about 7 days washout period, they suggest, if you're on a lower dose. Some pharmacies will suggest a 2-week flush out to come off Mounjaro before you go into Wegovy. That's definitely advisable. Don't obviously take them the next day. So if you're on 7.5 milligrams Mounjaro, you might want to wait 2 to 3 weeks to flush your system out and then start on Wegovy. Your prescriber will determine the dose of Wegovy that you start on, which depends on which dose of Mounjaro you were on and how well you tolerated it. This fluctuates wildly from pharmacy to pharmacy. You might not be able to move to Wegovy with certain pharmacies. I'm not allowed to move from Medicine Marketplace to Wegovy because my BMI is too low now, apparently. They only do it for 30 BMI and above. So make sure that you look at different suppliers and email them and ask if you can move to Wegovy or not. Right, let's talk about price. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. I had a look at my provider, as I said, Medicine Marketplace, and they're doing 0.25, 0.5 and 1, which is the bottom 3 pens, at £98, including postage. Now that's the equivalent of 2.5, 5 and 7.5 on Mounjaro, which was £137 for the 2.5, £164 for the 5 milligram, and a whopping £215 for the 7.5. So that means there's £117 the difference if you were on 7.5 Mounjaro and you're moving to the 1 milligram equivalent on Wegovy. So it's quite a big saving, really. Remember, this is only my provider that I'm with. There's a ton of others to choose from. Go into the monj.co.uk website and do a comparison and find out where you can get a good price for Wegovy. So what are you going to expect side effects wise? Well, a lot of the side effects are the same as Mounjaro. You're going to have an adjustment period. You might have nausea, you might have appetite problems, you might have stomach issues. Because Wegovy only activates GLP-1 receptors, Mounjaro is GLP-1 and GIP, you might respond differently to it. So just be wary that you're definitely checking your routine, your injection routine, all of your side effects, you're logging them all. You need to monitor things. Take your measurements, take your side effects, take your mood, and just check that it's actually going to work for you, because you might want to move back to Mounjaro if it's not working. Remember, just be wary that you may not be able to move at every pharmacy to Wegovy depending on your BMI. You're going to have to meet certain criteria for Wegovy. It depends on your health, it depends on your medical history, any allergic reactions. As I said, my supplier will not let me move to Wegovy. That might be an issue for me down the road. I'm going to see how things go. If I do decide I want to go to Wegovy, I'm going to have to change supplier and find out who I can actually go with to get on Mounjaro. Now remember, you should never take Wegovy and Mounjaro at the same time. It can cause a lot of issues. So make sure you stick to the rules that your supplier gives you. Okay, from my perspective, I'm seeing how things are going. I've hit my goal. I'm evaluating whether to stay on Mounjaro. It's still the best choice for me at the moment. The cost isn't massively higher for me on 5 milligrams, but Wegovy is a good saving. So I'm going to go down the maintenance path. If I find down the line that it's not working for me anymore when I come down the doses, I might try and move to Wegovy. But I will keep you all informed of how I go, and if there's any changes along the way, I'll obviously definitely keep you in the loop. As I said, maintenance is a road I haven't travelled yet, so it's going to be lots of winds and turns along the way. If I do switch, I'll be following that 7-day washout. I'll be getting the Mounjaro out of my system. I have got like 2 or 3 pens left to take me up to Christmas, so I'll definitely be staying on Mounjaro for the rest of 2025. But if I do switch, I'll let you know how it goes, and if there's any friends that have switched, I'll let you know how they're getting on. So this weekend's video is going to be my roadmap to maintenance. Now, I've never been down this road, so I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm going to try and map it out and let you know what I plan to do. It may change along the way, but I will keep you informed. So just want to give you a few tips, you guys out there. If you are thinking of switching, always consult your healthcare provider before you make any changes. That's the first thing. Track more than just your weight, the inches, how your clothes fit. Take photographs, that really helps. That's number 2. And budget and cost will matter to a lot of people. So check what's covered with Wegovy. You might get an app with it. You might get some clinical support. That's number 3. And number 4 is be patient with the switch, because it's not instant. It can take a few weeks, okay? But stick in there if you are going to move to Wegovy, and the best of luck. As you know, I'm on a split dose at the moment. I'm on 5 milligrams, but I'm taking 2.5 twice a week. But I wanted to give a shout out to a fellow creator called Fat Old Climber, is his channel name. I'll link it in the description. And he's designed a calculator for basically microdosing Mounjaro. And he's working on a Wegovy one as well. So basically you put into this app, I'll put a wee screenshot up above, what strength you've got and what you want to be taking. So say it's a 10 milligram pen and you want to be taking 2.5, it works out how many clicks on the pen. It also includes the golden dose, and it also includes pricing and how much it will cost you per dose. It's really handy. I suggest you bookmark it. It'll be in my description, his channel. Pop over to his channel after this video, give it a like, give it a sub, and I'll put the link for the calculator in my description as well. It's really good. The other thing I wanted to mention this week was a new feature on YouTube called Hype. Now, it's a way for small YouTubers like myself to grow their channel. As you know, I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, so it'd be great if you could help me along the way. But what does hype do? Well, basically, if you think a video deserves more attention, you click the hype button. Now, hype videos get highlighted in a special on the rise feed for other users to discover. So it's basically a way of crowd signaling that the video has potential, even if it isn't really trending. You can get it if you go into the comment section and you swipe left or right, you'll see the word hype. It looks like a wee rocket. I'll put a wee picture up so you can see it. Anyway, if you are watching an eligible video, you'll see a little rocket icon. Now, I've posted a pic, as I say, up above, but I'd love you to try and do it on this video, and I want to see if it actually makes any kind of difference. So if you can, put in the comments that you did click the hype button, looks like a wee rocket, and let me know if you did. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to check and see if this video has done any better than it would normally do. Gives it a wee boost along. It's not the same as a comment or a like. It's a separate thing. But if you could try it out, as I said, please click it and let me know in the comments if you did. Okay, folks, so if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button for more updates. As I said, I'm trying to get to that magical 1,000 subs. It's not easy. It doesn't cost you anything, so please subscribe and make it happen for me. I want to try and get it by Christmas if possible. I'm going on a cruise in 4 weeks' time. It's actually a wee bit less than that. And as I said, this week's going to be a roadmap to maintenance. It's a whole new ball game. It's a road not travelled, and it's not linear. It's going to be changes along the way. It's going to twist and turn, as I said, trial and error. But I'd love you to join me along in my journey, because this is a brand new part of the journey for me. The easier bit has been done. Now keeping the weight off is going to be the hard bit. But let's try and do it together. Support each other. As I said, I reply to all the comments that you leave, so please leave me a comment. Other thing I wanted to mention this week was I might be doing a live on Saturday or Sunday. I put up a wee vote to see if you preferred Saturday or Sunday. Once I've looked at the results of that, I'll decide whether I'm doing one on Saturday or Sunday, and I'll pop it up on my channel. If you can't make it, please leave me a question you'd like answered in the live, and I'll cover it off for you, and then you can watch it on the replay. Okay, so that's your dose for this week. My own measurements were done. A lot of wins there since hitting my goal, and if you're considering moving to Wegovy, I've covered that as well. So let me know if there's any topics that you want covered in the future, and leave me a comment if you're staying on Mounjaro, or are you switching, or have you switched already? What's the side effects been like? Have you moved back to Mounjaro? Let me know. I'd love to know. It's so interesting. Anyway, I've waffled on enough for this week. These are supposed to be shorter videos. I think this one's going to be a bit longer than normal. But stay strong. Keep going on your journey, and I'll support you as best as I can. But for now, I'm signing off. Bye for now.